Hi, I'm Mrs. Peterson, and we're ready to get rolling in this class. In this project, you're going to be taking a picture of an object, which sounds really simple and really easy. But I made it that way so you can really get acquainted with your camera. As you get started with this project, the first thing I'm going to do is ask you about your camera. And so we're getting to know it. You're either going to need to read your instruction manual, or you can go find it and search it online to access it, or you can even find really neat camera tutorials online too. So make sure that you use that as a resource to get to know your camera and some of the functions that it has. I want you to be very aware of your light source. The reason why I'm asking you to pay attention to your light source is because light is critical to the function of your camera. If the area that you're trying to take your photograph is not well lit, your photographs will be blurry, grainy, not focused, and they will not be clear. But don't take your picture at night. Take your picture during the day where you have an open window with natural lighting come in. You can then take your object and take your picture from different angles. Maybe you want to get up close. Maybe you don't want to show the whole thing. The next thing that I want you to do is be aware of the surroundings. A lot of times we'll just take a picture and we don't think about what's around it. But if we're really wanting to make an object shine, we want to make sure that it's the focal point and the focus of the picture. So that means that if there's a lot of stuff in the background that's distracting, it takes away from that. So maybe you want to take that object and you can move it outside. Maybe you want to pose it with a few other things to really bring it together. Maybe you want to leave it inside on a counter that has lots of open space. The thing that I always say is to avoid a flash. Especially if you have natural lighting, you don't need to use a flash. Turn it off on your camera. And it really forces you to learn how to recognize light and to really capture the details of an object and to get true colors. In this project, we're also going to be talking about what editing software you decided to use. Maybe you used one that I suggested, maybe you have one on your computer already, which is great. Just make sure that you have one available so you can download your photos onto your computer and that you can edit it. Make sure that you are really happy with your final image that you're submitting or final images that you're submitting for this assignment. So in this class, you're going to need to edit your photos in a lot of instances, and I don't have a specific one that you have to use. I'm just going to talk about the basics of editing that you can find in any basic editing software. So I want you to go and pick something that works best for you. Your computer may already have something that's going to work for the basics, like a Windows editor on PC or Preview on Mac. Those are great. I just really don't want you to use any pre-made filters like you see on Instagram or Snapchat or anything like those pre-made filters that change the colors for you and things like that, because it's not going to teach you anything. I want you to be able to experiment with it. The basics that you're going to want to look for are things like it can change the saturation, contrast, it can crop, and some of these others that I've listed here. I'm going to give you a link after this video, but it's also here in the video, of 8 free ones that you can look at if you're not happy with the option that you have on your computer. You can also, if you already have it available to you, you can use something like Photoshop, Photoshop Elements, Lightroom. They're all great software that you can use. I'm just not going to take you through step by step on how to use those, but you can use them if you have them available to you. The last thing that I want you to think about in this project is to tell a story. And that picture is worth 1,000 words. If you took the time to capture it, to summarize, I want you to put the life in still life. So L, that light is critical to clear and focus pictures. Use natural light from open windows. Use different angles to make sure that it's well lit. Go outside during the day to make sure that you have a good light source for your camera to function properly. Interest, make the object the star of your photo and watch out for cluttered backgrounds. Move around, take it from a different angle so you get rid of anything that might be distracting. F, that flash, turn it off. Use natural light or direct light sources. Flash tends to blow out the details. It doesn't emphasize texture. It's just distracting most of the time, and if you're using a well-lit space, you don't need the flash. So try it, turn it off, learn what you can from it.
And E, elevate your photos. How do your photos tell a story? How do they show your sense of style? Tell me how you see the world by the photos you take. So a story can be visual. You can be telling a story about texture or space or lines or color. You can be telling an emotional story about love or mystery, sadness, happiness, or it can even be literal. You can be taking a portrait. It can be historical. It can be something that is important to you. So elevate your photos by taking and telling a story.
Again, I'm so excited for you to get into this project. I'll have a couple more things for you to look at, and then you can start answering questions.